Hey there, Libra. It's Jen here from tarotspirit.net. I was just sitting here meditating and shuffling the cards, and cards started falling out. So let's get started with your May reading. Sorry I missed the April readings. Got a couple of them done, but I just wasn't able to get them all finished, so I didn't want to just post a few signs and not all of them. So far we got the Two of Cups, the Magician. Lots of major arcanas too. We have the Strength, Emperor, and Magician card. Five of Swords. I see you this month, in the month of May for Libra. I feel like you're in this, I'm surprised we don't have the Hermit. Yeah. So I see maybe this winter for some of you, either having had the end of a relationship or the end of something that shook you a little bit. Like maybe you found out someone lied to you or just was very much not the person. Maybe you found a friend, you had a frenemy, or someone was talking smack about you at work or whatever. Just someone and it really shocked you. It wasn't someone where you're like, yeah, well, they're a jerk anyway. Or you had a falling out with someone. And it kind of affected you more than it affected you quite a bit. I don't want my plant to heat up. That might not be the smartest place for it. So, and that one to catch on fire. What if my plant just like burst into flames? That would be funny. Not really, but kind of. But I see that having happened like maybe in the last 6 months or so in some area of your life. For some of you, it definitely could have been a relationship. But what I see now is that you've really learned from that experience. You really let go of the negative aspect and haven't been holding on to the resentment or anger, and have really been able to get to a point where you can let go and be like, you know what? I can't control someone who has this sort of, the Five of Swords is just like win at all costs, prove anything to be right, instead of working together to be successful. They just want to win. They want to right fight. They want to win the argument, and they will be dishonest or manipulative, lie by omission. They will do whatever they need to do to look right, to be right. They're the type of person that would, they're going to go around and get to everyone else, tell their side of the story. So you may find that there's sort of a smear campaign going on when it was something very straightforward where, I don't know, maybe this person, who knows, but I'll just make something up. Like, so this person wanted to buy something from you. Maybe your kid had a bike that they never really used. It was in great shape. You gave them this ridiculous deal, but then they never paid you. Like, they picked it up. Oh, I don't have the cash. And then they start saying, then maybe they like damage the bike. And finally you're like, can you please give it back? Because, and it was like hard for you to even ask. Being a Libra, you want to keep the peace. And they like jacked it up. And they just completely blow this situation out of proportion. And you're kind of like mad and like, maybe I don't want to be friends with this person anymore. But they like just took it to this whole extra level of drama and insanity and just made it into like a scene, something like that. If it wasn't a relationship that just blew open and they were like accusing you of all this stuff when it was really them, and getting to all the friends and the people and telling their side of the story. But so I don't want to spend any more time on that. We're moving on. That you're moving on, and you're like, you're no longer doing what I just did and like regurgitating it. And I don't think you really were a lot, but you were really like, it caused a lot of anxiety because you were like, what the hell is going on here? I was very honest, and I gave them this great deal, and they backed out and they damaged things, and I still wasn't even going to make a big deal about it. And now all of a sudden I'm the monster. But you really did, I think, some amazing self-care, and we're just kind of, feel like you just sort of retreated, and we're just like, I'm just going to let them say what they want to say because I know the truth in me. And like, there's this real strength of character you have. Like, I don't need to be out, you have a few close friends that know what went on, but you're like, I don't need to go be the one going out there. I'm not going to put something on Facebook. I'm just not going to go there. I'm not going to dignify that with a response. I'm just going to be strong in my own self and know what happens and move on. Like, again, self-care, spending time doing things you love, keeping yourself busy and occupied with things that really feed your soul. And I think you should be proud of yourself. Like, you handled the situation really, really well. And I think we need to give ourselves credit when we master something, even if it feels like we didn't do a good job. I feel like it's pretty hard never to have anything bother us or give us some sleepless nights, but you recovered, you put it in a good perspective, and you're moving on. You didn't get caught up in the drama. You didn't let it derail you. You didn't spend days eating junk food. Like, you stayed the course, and you did a great job. And it's like, damn, I might be growing up here. You're also in the central card here. This Emperor is like, he's not going to compromise his self-respect to try to placate someone else's bad behavior. And if they hate you or want to try to run a smear campaign against you, it's like, okay, you can do whatever you want, but I know myself. And this can also come up when you're making decisions that other people don't like because of their own, fear and conditioning and what they want. But it's like, if you know it's right for you, then you need to do it. And if other people have an issue with it, their reactions are their problems. And you can't then, and this is a big deal for Libra. It's like, oh, I want to keep the peace, so maybe I could compromise. It's like, no, there's some things you can't compromise. And a lot of maybe in the past you really used to compromise on sort of the quote unquote smaller things. But it's gotten to the point where it's like, the small things, like, why am I compromising? It becomes big things. Like, you can't compromise on every single small thing, because one, you're teaching people how to treat you, that they can always get their way, and your wants, needs don't matter. So again, that's that self-respect. But also, if it is such a small, you're just getting to the point where it's like, I don't always want to compromise. I do have wants and needs that are valid, and I don't need to compromise. And if someone doesn't like it, that's their problem. And it could be that you have this type of person in your life that just took advantage of you, and because they're the squeaky wheel, and you're always like, fine. And once you had the audacity, this could be even really small, like smaller than, like, you had the audacity to have an opinion or to say, no, I really do want to do this. And they just lost it. And you're just like, you know what? if you can't respect my boundaries, and they're usually the people that have the strongest boundaries themselves. So I don't know if that's their insecurity or control, what that is, but you're just like, I don't even need to know because I'm moving away. I do think for some of you, it is a love relationship. But what's so beautiful is that by going through this situation, and this is probably not the first time you've been in it, you're able to now, like you gained confidence and you're able to let new love in, new experiences in, new people in, because you're having this confidence. And even at work, it's spilling over into work, being able to work with people because you're like, I know I can do both. I can work with people and compromise, but I also know how to set boundaries, and I'm not going to let it derail me if people can't respect that. It's like there's this other thing though. You have this like new, it's really been a turning point for you. Like it's given you the confidence where, I mean, I can see some of you like, I want to start my own business. Maybe you're now going to apply to be a manager, whereas before you'd really shy away from something like that. But something's given you the confidence, and I don't want to say bravery, courage, but this is really to me allowing yourself to be vulnerable, going after things that you would have never gone after before because you would have felt too exposed, too vulnerable, putting yourself out there. You're now able to do that, and you're just like, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to give it a shot. And sometimes people don't like that either. I feel like you're like, maybe you have a family that's really up in your business or something, and you're really sort of, they felt like they've been able to control you, and you're just like, oh, I'm going to do what I want, like my thing. And you're just like, you know what, they're going to act the way they want to, and that's just the way it's going to go. There's nothing I can do about it. So you're really, it's like maybe a kid who's in college and it's like, I am changing my major from business to theater. And the family is like, what? You can't do that. And just freaking out. I was actually a theater minor. And I remember when I switched to be a theater minor, I went to my advisor and I was like, oh, I know, theater, eye roll. And history major, eye roll. And she was one of my history teachers, one of the best teachers I ever had. And she also she was very much into theater. So she was like, the skills you learn in theater will serve you, because there's so many aspects of it. There's set design, there's learning how to present yourself, there's costume design, there's writing, directing. I mean, she's like, it encompasses a business. It encompasses all the skills you can apply to other areas of your life. So it's just like having that shift in perspective and being able to see, no, this isn't frivolous. This is what I love to do, or this isn't frivolous. It will serve me. Just because it's not the mainstream way that people think doesn't mean it's not valid or it's not viable or something that will work for you. And sometimes if it's just what you love to do, that's just the way it is, regardless. So, really stepping into your power and stepping into your authenticity. And again, that it brings in, look at this. You find the perfect partner, the perfect business partner, the perfect romantic partner, a new friend that gets you and that is respectful. This is love coming in if you're looking for a new relationship. And it's someone who really, again, respects you and gets you and lifts you up and supports all of this, all of these major arcana cards, is you have all the tools to create the life you want. You have the strength and the courage and the to be vulnerable to go after the things you want. And you can deal with it, whatever comes. And if you experience a, quote unquote setback or failure, you learn from it and you try again, stronger and smarter, and better than before. Because life, a lot of times is just experience, and you have to go through experiences to gain experience. So thank you, Libra.